Yuan deposited 5,000 pesos in a bank paying 9% simple interest for 3 years. How much would he have in his account at the end of 3 years, assuming that no withdrawal was made? Itong problem na to ay nag-involve ng concept ng simple interest, which is our topic in this video. Yung simple interest ay kapag ang isang deposit or let's say ang isang loan kinumpute once for the full term. Ibig sabihin, isang beses ka lang papatungan ng tubo, no? Kabuuan na yon ng iyong utang. Simple interest is denoted as I. At ang kailangan lang para makompute ang simple interest, ang product ng principal amount, denoted as P, ng rate, denoted as R, small r lang, and then yung length of time ng loan, denoted as small letter t. Again, I is the simple interest. Simple interest. P is the principal amount, yung original na halaga ng inutang o pinautang. Principal amount. R being the rate of interest. Gaano kalaki yung tubo? And then finally, yung T naman is the length of time. Yung T or yung time, kung hindi sinabi ng problem, specifically kung ano yung T, gaano kadalas tinutubuan, automatically expressed siya in terms of years. Alright? Mapalit tayo kasi sa problem natin nakalagay na years naman talaga. In fact, tinatanong 3 years. Subukan natin i-solve yung problem, no? First thing to do is to identify alin sa mga given alin dito sa equation natin ang ibinigay na ng problem, no? Basically, we will identify the given. So, Yuan deposited 5,000 pesos in a bank paying 9% simple interest for 3 years. How much would he have in his account at the end of 3 years, assuming that no withdrawal was made? Yung 5,000 na nakita natin dito, alam natin na yan yung inutang ni Yuan. So, yan yung ating P. That's our principal amount. P is 5,000 pesos. At yung bangko daw ay tinutubuan yun ng 9%. Sa tuwing may makikita tayong percent symbol, ganyan, huwag na tayo mag-alangan. Agad-agad yan yung R or yung rate. The rate is always denoted in percent symbol. In percent. So, 9%. Patuloy tayo. 9% simple interest for 3 years. So, alam na natin yung T. T is 3. Now we can solve for I, which is simple interest. Yan. Hindi na natin kailangang ilagay dito na years because again, not unless in a state ng problem na buwan siya, let's say quarterly, gano'n. That's the time na tsaka lang natin siyang ilalagay. Kung wala, automatically 3 year is expressed in years. Next thing to do is to plug in the values. Again, we're looking for I. To do that, multiply si P kay R and kay T. So, plug in na natin. Principal amount is 5,000. Pamaya natin ilagay yung symbol. Yung unit. Multiplied by the rate, which is 9%. Now, hindi ko pwedeng ilagay dito yung 9% because I cannot multiply unless mawala yung percent symbol, which means we need to convert 9% into decimal. Paano natin gagawin yon? You drop the percent symbol and then you move 2 decimal places to the left. So, kung 9% yan, ang decimal point yan nandito. Mag-move tayo ng dalawa pakaliwa. 1, 2. Nasa na siya? Nandito mapupunta yung decimal point. May isa pang gap dito. Kailangan natin maglagay ng placeholder, which means 9% will be 0.09 expressed into decimals. And then yung rate of time natin, 3 years. So, lagyan lang natin dyan. 3. And then, you multiply all together. You can do this manually or you can bring out your calculator. Yan. Try natin. 5,000 multiplied by 0.09 multiplied by 3. And we have 1,350 as our product. Yung 1,350 na yan, sulat natin, 1,350, ayan yung tinubo. So, kung pera yan, lagay natin yung unit na ginamit. This is the simple interest. Kaya lang linawin natin yung tanong. Ang hinahanap, how much would he have in his account at the end of 3 years, assuming na wala daw siyang winidraw? Magkano yung kabuuan na halaga ng kanyang pera? It means that we are looking for the final amount. Paano mahanap yon? Denote natin yung final amount as F. And to do that, kailangan lang nating idagdag sa principal amount, yung original na pera niya, yung tinubo. As simple as that. So again, F is the final amount. P here is the same as the P included here, which is the principal amount. Then yung I, kagaya rin ng I dito, is the simple interest. So i-add lang natin basically. Hanapin natin kung magkano yung pera ni Yuan sa kanyang account at the end of 3 years. Let's solve for F, or the final amount. Principal amount is 5,000. Actually, hindi pala natin kailangan maglagay ng parentheses dahil addition problem lang siya. Add natin yung interest, yung tinubo na nakuha na natin ahead of time, di ba? 1,350. The sum of that is the final amount, which is 6,350 pesos. Ito ngayon yung laman ng bangko, ng account ni Yuan at the end of the term in 3 years. And that's our final answer. That's how you solve for the interest, simple interest, and the final amount. Magkano yung pera kasama yung tubo and the original o yung principal na amount. Let's have another example. Example number 2 natin, Brando borrowed 15,000 pesos from a bank charging 7% simple interest with an arrangement that he would pay the principal and interest at the end of the term. If he paid 17,100 at the end of the term, for how long did he use the money? Now, kaya tayo may second example kasi may pagkakataon na ibang value naman ang hinahanap. So, para malaman natin ano yung hinahanap, tingnan muna natin ano na yung binigay sa atin. Ano na yung given. Brando borrowed 15,000 pesos. That's our principal amount. 15,000. From a bank charging 7% simple interest. May nakita tayong percent symbol. So, alam na natin na yan yung rate. 7%. with an arrangement that you would pay the principal interest at the end, principal and the interest at the end of the term. So sabay niya nang babayaran kasama yung tubo. If he paid 17,100 pesos at the end of the term, for how long did he use the money? Ibig sabihin dito, yung 17,100 is actually our final amount. Ayun yung binayad niya, yung utang kasama na yung tubo, yung interest. Which means we have F 17,100. Tama ba? At ang hinahanap ng problem, malinaw rin namang nasabi, for how long did he use the money? Pag tinanong yung how long, automatically we're looking for the time. So, paano natin isa-solve yung ganitong uri ng mga problem? Kung hinahanap natin ay time, siyempre ang magagamit nating formula dito ay yung equation na may t, which is the same as what we used earlier. Pwede nating isulat yon. Principal amount interest muna. Simple interest is equal to the principal amount multiplied by the rate and then multiplied by the time. Dahil dyan yung t, ito yung kailangan nating equation. Kailangan lang natin yang i-manipulate to solve for t. When we say manipulate, dapat i-isolate natin siya sa side ng equation. Kagaya ni I dito na wala siyang kasama, if we're looking for t, dapat si t naman ang walang kasama. Ibig sabihin, t equals. No, so paano natin yun gagawin? We can go ahead and plug in, tapos tsaka na lang tayo mag-simplify, or pwede na nating i-manipulate yung formula, tsaka tayo mag-plug in at mag-solve. This example's case, gagawin ko muna i-manipulate yung formula natin. So to solve for t here, kailangan kong i-divide both sides of the equation by the principal amount and the rate, or yung PR, para ma-isolate yung t. Bakit? Anything divided by itself is 1. You can just cancel this out, which means ang natitira na lang sa atin is the time equals simple interest divided by the principal amount multiplied by the rate. Meron na tayong equation na gagamitin to solve for t. Now we can plug in. Again, we're looking for the time. Kaya natin in-isolate muna yung t bago mag-plug in. Pwede mong gawin yung kabaligtaran, mag-plug in ka muna tsaka ka mag-solve, no? I-isolate mo na lang yung t. Pero pinakita ko lang na posible rin ito. At baka, at times, mas madali ang kayo. Simple interest natin. Notice na wala pa tayong I. Which means, kailangan talaga muna nating isolve yung I. Paano naman natin magagawa yun? Kulang nga yung given. Wala tayong t. Ano pa bang formula na alam na natin yung merong I? Yun, marirecall ninyo na meron tayong formula to solve for the final amount, which is the sum of the principal amount and the simple interest. Diba? Meron tayong F. Meron din tayong P. Now we can solve for I. Same thing, pwedeng i-plug in mo muna yung values tsaka mo i-isolate or i-modify na natin ito. To solve for I here, dapat mawala yung P, which means we need to subtract P on both sides. Bakit tayo nag-subtract dito? Dito nag-divide kasi inando natin. This is multiplication, so para mawala yung dalawang katabi, mag-divide tayo. Ina-undo ni division yung multiplication. Dito naman, kaya tayo nagsusubtract kasi merong addition dito na naganap, kaya nagkaroon ng P dyan. So, ina-undo naman ni subtraction yung addition. This will cancel out P. P minus P is 0. Ano na lang natitira sa side na yan ng equation? Yung interest. Simple interest. Paano makuha yon? Subtract mo daw yung final amount by the principal amount. Yan. So, yan na yung mga equation na gagamitin natin. Now, we can plug in. Let's solve for I para mahanap natin yung hinahanap ng problem, which is the time. Yung T. So, F natin is 17,100 subtracted by the principal amount of 15,000. Yan. So, makuha natin dito is 2,100 pesos. Ibig sabihin, meron na tayong I na magagamit para ma-solve yung T. No, i-plug in ko na yan dito kasabay ng mga iba pang given. So, I is 2,100 divided by the product of the principal amount and the rate. So, lagyan natin ng parentheses, 15,000 multiplied by rate natin is 7%. Again, we cannot operate unless mawala yung percent symbol, which means we need to drop this percent symbol and i-convert yan sa decimal. Paano yun? I-move mo into decimal places ng 2 beses pa kaliwa. So, 1, 2. Dito mapupunta yung 0, which means 7% is also 0.07. Ayan yung dapat nating i-multiply dito sa 15,000. Tapos gamitin natin pang divide dun sa 2,100. Scroll down natin. Unahin natin i-multiply yung denominator bago tayo makapag-divide. No? So let's again bring out our calculator. And let's multiply 15,000 by 0.07. So we have 1,050. 1,050. Sulat natin. Yun yung denominator natin ngayon. 1,050. Numerator pa rin natin is 2,100, which means to solve for time, yung t, divide natin yung 2,100 by 1,050. Gamitin na ulit natin yung calculator natin. 2,100 divided by 1,050. At ang sagot, 2. Ano yung 2 dito? Again, we're looking for the time. Right? Sabi natin, unless stated, automatically yung number, yung t, ay expressed in terms of years. So, 2 years ang sagot dito sa hinahanap ng problem. How long did Brando use the money? Ginamit niya yun for 2 years. Let's have another example. Last example natin in this video. Jonathan invested 75,000 pesos in the stock market, which guaranteed an interest of 11,250 pesos after 1.5 years. At what rate would his investment earn? So, yung una nating example, ang hinahanap natin ay principal amount and yung final amount. Sa ikalawang example, hinahanap natin yung time. Ano naman kaya ang hinahanap natin dito sa third and last example natin? Analyze muna natin problem para alam natin kung ano yung given, ano na yung meron. Jonathan invested 75,000. Alam natin, yan yung P. Either in-invest or inutang, dineposit or ni-loan. Yan yung mga principal amount natin eh. So, P is 75. Yan. Guaranteed an interest of 11,250. So, malinaw na sinasabi na yun yung I. Sulat natin. After 1.5 years. 1.5 years, which means meron din tayong T. Paano natin i-express yung 1.5? Di 1.5 kung decimal or 1 1/2 kung fraction. Ang hinahanap ay ito. At what rate would his investment earn? Apparently, we're looking for R. Para ma-solve yung R, dapat alam natin anong equation ang gagamitin. So, ano nga ulit sa mga formula natin yung merong R? Tama. Yung formula natin for simple interest itself ay merong rate. So, yun yung gamitin natin. Again, to solve for the simple interest, we multiply the principal amount by the given rate and the given time. Now we can manipulate this formula para alam natin yung gagamitin natin to solve for R. Same thing, kaya sabi ko kanina, pwedeng i-plug in mo muna tsaka ka mag-isolate ng value ni R, or i-manipulate mo na yung formula para plug in mo, simplify, tapos ka na. In this example's case, para mawala yung R, this is multiplication, undo natin. Divide tayo both sides. Ano yung divide? Yung mga ayaw natin na nandyan. Gusto ko isolated si R because that's my goal, to solve for R. So, alisin ko yung P and T. Pero, yun din yung gamitin ko sa kabila. Bakit natin ginagawa yun? Bakit parehas na sides lagi? Para manatiling equal yung equation. Diba? Ayaw natin na sa isang side lang tayo mag-manipulate. Hindi na magiging balance yon. Anything divided by itself is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. So, ang natira na lang sa isang side ay yung rate. And then, to solve for the given rate, kailangan lang pala nating mag-divide. Divide si I by the product of P and T. Now, we can just plug in and solve. Kasi may I na tayo, may P tayo, meron ding T. Interest, simple interest is 11,250 divided by the product of principal amount and the time. So, we have 75,000 pesos. Mamaya na yung unit ng currency. Then, T is 1.5. Yan. Now, let's bring out our calculator. Pwede naman natin itong isolve manually, but then, since this is a video and we're trying to save as much time as possible, gamitin na natin itong ating calculator. No, unahin natin itong 75,000 multiplied by 1.5. This is 112,500. Sulat natin. 112,500 na i-divide. Gagamitin pang divide sa 11,250. Ano kaya ang ating magiging final answer? 11,250 divided by the previous answer. It is 1 over 10. 1 over 10 yan sa fraction. Sulat ko muna. 1 over 10. But then, alam natin na yung rate natin, gusto natin, nakasulat in terms of percent. Which means we need to rewrite this into percent. Paano ba natin ginagawa yun? Paano tayo nagre-rewrite ng fraction sa percent? Simple lang. Nagdi-divide lang naman tayo. Tsaka natin i-convert sa percent. So, this is 1 over 10 or 1 divided by 10. Yan. Baka may sagot ka na dito. Good for you. Pero pakita ko kung paano yung tamang proseso. 1 divided by 10. Ilang 10 meron sa 1? Siyempre wala. No? Kailangan natin manghiram. Ngayon ang tanong, ilang 10? Let's assume na 10 yan. Meron sa 10. So the answer is 1. 1 multiplied by 10 is 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. 0.1 ang ating sagot. Rate, again, needed to be written in terms of percent, which means i-convert ko yung 0.1. Paano ginagawa yan? Kanina, pag nag-convert tayo ng percent to decimal, nag-move tayo to decimal places to the left. Dito naman, ang gagawin natin, pabaligtad. Mag-move tayo ng decimal places, pero pakanan. Dalawa pa rin ang i-move, palaging dalawa. Which means, yung decimal point, mapupunta dito. At dahil merong gap dyan, lagay ka ng placeholder na 0. Wala na tong decimal point dyan kasi nilipat na natin. Ibig sabihin, 1 over 10 o yung 0.1 is also 10%. No need to write this decimal point. Kung nandito siya sa dulo, hindi mo na kailangan isulat. And this is our answer. That is the rate na nag-earn yung investment ni Jonathan. No? Tumubo siya ng 10%. That will be all in this video. Let me know in the comments kung may bahagi nito ang hindi mo ganong naunawaan. Thank you so much for watching.